My name is Annie. Welcome to my channel, Eat, Drink, and Be Reading. Today I'm going to be doing the reading habits tag, which is why I have my trusty sloth notebook with me. I'm a 9 on the Enneagram, for all you Enneagram nerds out there. And one of our not so great tendencies is toward slothfulness. And so my husband and I kind of have a joke about sloths. Anyway, I have the questions written down in my notebook. So if you see me looking at this, that's what's going on. It has been around long enough for me to not be able to find the original creator. I read or somewhere, or somebody said it somewhere, that the original is now private. I don't know if that's true or not, but thank you to whoever created it. But I thought this was a fun tag to do since it's still the beginning of my channel and it's a good get to know me kind of questionnaire, I guess. And so let's get started. Question number 1. Do you have a certain place at home for reading? I did answer this question back in my BookTube newbie tag. But the answer is not really. I really love to read outside. That's my favorite. I've been my kids have been playing in the front yard, sticking a camp chair in the sun to read a little bit here and there, or on the weekends in the backyard or something. But typically I read, we have 2 couches on one of those, depending on if my husband is reading with me, if he's home, if he's watching TV, etc. So anywhere I can get a few minutes, I like to read. Question number 2, bookmark or random piece of paper? Usually a random piece of paper. I really only have a bookmark if I get one from like an independent bookseller, like when I'm buying a book. So I do like to use the flyleaf bookmarks from one of the stores near us, or the golden fig bookmarks from the one the other way. And I like to use those when I have them, but I don't buy a whole lot of physical books. I like the library. I use my Kindle a lot. I own a lot of books already. And so especially this year, I'm trying to read more books I already own. And so I haven't bought as many books, and typically I often forget to take the bookmark out of the book and it gets put away. And by the time I read the next book, I just pick a Post-it or something and use that. So usually it's a Post-it or a receipt or whatever I find. But if I find some really fun, cute bookmarks someday, maybe I'll change my mind. I know they're out there, just haven't bought them. And usually they come in packs of 20. And I don't really know where I'd keep 20 bookmarks. But we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind. Number 3. Can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a chapter or a certain number of pages? I prefer to stop reading at the end of a chapter, but it's not necessary, especially now that I have kids. Even if I'm reading in the evening, there's a decent chance that one of them is going to yell for mommy for something, and I just gotta put the receipt or random piece of paper, most likely in the book, and go. And just depending on what's going on, I may or may not get back to it that night. So yeah, I think I have gotten, especially in the past few years, better at just stopping wherever. But if I got to pick, I would stop at the end of the chapter. Look who's joined us again. She came and found me, and when she saw that I was videotaping, had to come join, apparently. You want to show them which book you're reading today? Can you show them the front? Uh-oh, mommy dropped it. Brown bear, brown bear. Okay, so I think I was on question number 4. Do you eat or drink while reading? Yeah, this is a funny question because,
Bear!
oh gosh.
Bear my book!
Bear in your book. We can't do this the whole time. Mommy won't be able to talk.
Bear! Bear!
You're gonna show them the bear.
Bear!
Bear.
Bear!
Okay. Yeah. Do you eat or drink while reading is a funny question because my channel is
Bear!
Eat, Drink, and Be Reading. But the reality is I actually don't eat and read very much. Usually because
Bird.
breakfast and lunch are pretty quick meals. That's a bird. Pretty quick meals for me, and I don't really have time to open up a book. I'd read just a couple of pages, which I'm fine with.
Duck.
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 But it's just not my preferred way to read. And so I do read cookbooks, though. I'll read cookbooks while I eat lunch. I enjoy doing that. I think I'll probably do a couple of or a video on like my favorite cookbooks to read at some point. But yeah, so I don't typically eat and read, but I do drink and read. I like to have a glass of wine while I read. That's kind of my favorite way to do it. I mean, if it's warm enough outside in the evening after the kids are asleep and it's still light out, and I can have a glass of Brunello or Chianti or some blend or something. I love that. Or even some like San Pellegrino, like sparkling, not flavored, but just sparkling water. Anything to sip on, I really enjoy that. All right, number 5, multitasking music or TV while reading.
I see what.
Not really. I prefer to read in... I mean, I don't need silence, but I prefer not to be listening to something while I read. But my husband, Michael, is not a huge reader.
I see a white duck.
You see a duck, yeah.
Children in my book.
Children in your book. Children.
Duck.
I promise we're going to figure out a schedule with recording. She is not doing this in every video, but it's supposed to rain later, and so my husband will be in the office most of the rest of the day, and so I had to sneak in here while I could. I'm going to finish this question quickly. Sometimes I will listen to piano music or Harry Potter ASMR or music from an artist I don't know very well.
Harry Potter book.
Your Harry Potter book. You don't have a Harry Potter book.
Harry Potter book.
We will find something to be your Harry Potter book later. Yeah, I will listen to something while he watches TV. If it's a show I really don't care about, I will try and do that rather than watching with him, but sometimes I just watch with him. Depends on the night. Number 6. One book at a time or several at once? I guess several at once. I usually have an audiobook and a physical book going at the same time, and I will occasionally have an audiobook, a paper book, and a Kindle book going, but usually one of those physical read with my eyes books needs to be nonfiction and one needs to be fiction. My fear when I read too many books at once is that one of them is not going to get finished. I'm going to get stuck on another one and not come back or something like that. So I don't do it often. I am doing it right now though in May. So yeah, I'm reading 3 books right now all at the same time.
I see my 2. What do you see my 2?
What do you see? Number 7, reading at home or everywhere. I like to read everywhere. I'm working on a vlog right now where I spent some of my reading time in a camping chair at an empty park, and that was wonderful. But most of the time I read at home just because I don't have a lot of opportunities to read elsewhere. I don't go by myself very many places where I could go read. I'm doing it a little more actually in quarantine just because that's some of my I need a break and I need to get out time. But typically most of my reading is done at home. Number 8, reading out loud or silently in your head. I read silently. Occasionally if I get to an end of a chapter, or not a chapter, like a paragraph or a page, and I'm like, what did I just read? I'll read out loud a little bit, but typically just silently in my head. Number 9, do you read ahead or even skip? Oh, don't rip it. Do you read ahead or even skip pages? No, not really. I don't. If there's a book that I'm basically DNFing and I really want to know how it ends. I remember Before the Fall by Noah Hawley. I read that a few years ago. I think it's Noah Hawley. I will tape it. Yes, I will tape it. I remember I got like halfway through and wanted to know like who did it, but did not want to read any more of it. And so I think I like skipped to the end just to figure that out. But almost never do I skip ahead. Number 10, break the spine or keeping it like new. I don't really try to keep my books like new. I don't mind if books are loved and used. That doesn't bother me. We will tape it, don't worry. But I don't like intend to break the spine. Occasionally, if I'm just getting really tired of this book and I can't, like, I'm holding it the right way so it won't break the spine, I will just break it. But I don't usually break the spine. So maybe somewhere in the middle between breaking the spine and keeping it like new. And the last question, do you write in your books? I do, typically just nonfiction. I don't write my fiction book quite as often. We will tape it, I promise. We're almost done. Tape, I know, we tape a lot of things because of this one. Little destructive one over here. You want to show them? Did you rip your book? Obviously, we don't keep things like new. This is our second or third copy of Brown Bear in board book form. Highly recommend. Bye. I don't mind writing my books, though. I probably wish that I wrote in my fiction books more often so I could remember some of the lines and moments. But Bear's toe is ripped. But I definitely write my nonfiction books so that I can remember things. If I don't at least underline it and go back at the end and read what it was underlined, I'm not going to remember anything at all. So that's my reading habits tag, guys. I apologize. Thank you for your grace with this little one. We're about to have a meltdown because of our ripped book. Yes, I do think next week I'm going to try and do my first like wine and book pairing. I'm trying to decide between my favorite Chardonnay. Really, it's the only Chardonnay that I enjoy. And like a red blend. And even if you do not drink wine, I kind of think it's still fun. It pairs some books together in maybe a way they're not usually paired. And maybe it would make you think about when you're drinking something you do like. What book would you read while, like what book does that experience of drinking that remind you of? So I've had 2 different wines lately that have really like made me feel something like a book does. So I'm excited to do one of those. I'm gonna go deal with all of my kid things that are happening right now. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and to subscribe. Comment down below. Are any of these habits like funny for you? Do you do something weird while reading? Or is there something you're really particular about? Let me know below. And I hope you could hear all of this.